Gil Martin here, and welcome everybody to today's episode of the Daily Packers Post, where we bring you in-depth daily coverage of your Green Bay Packers. We have new episodes dropping every day, Monday through Friday, so make sure you hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Today, we're going to discuss 5 key questions that the Packers defense has to answer in the upcoming 2025 season. Last year, the defense improved under Jeff Hafley, his first year as defensive coordinator. Now the question is, can they take another step forward in year 2 under Hafley and get the job done at an elite level? Remember, all of the Packers' top 3 picks in this year's draft were on the offensive side of the ball, so we have to see whether or not the defense can improve despite that. Question number 5 going to be this: where does Javon Bullard fit in this defense? He was a second-round pick a year ago, and he split time between safety and the slot, but Evan Williams played really well later in the season at safety. And they now have Nate Hobbs, who is more than capable of playing in the slot. So where does Bullard end up? He's probably going to have to fight for both jobs and playing time in both spots, but he's not guaranteed a starting job at either. Bullard did a really good job of stopping the run last year, but struggled in coverage. Hopefully he improves in that area, and we'll see where Bullard ends up. He certainly should have some role, but whether or not he'll be a starter, and if so, at which position, remains to be seen. Question number 4, can the Packers replace TJ Slaton? Yeah, I know Slaton wasn't the kind of guy who made a lot of headlines. Run stuffers, guys who clog up the middle of the defensive line, usually don't. They are the guys who do the grunt work so that other players make tackles and get the glory. But Slaton is now a Cincinnati Bengal. The Packers have several options here. Kenny Clark could always move back to the nose, although I doubt the Packers want that to be, their first option. And then the Packers drafted Warren Brinson in the 6th round out of Georgia, and then took his college teammate Nazir Stackhouse, signed him as an undrafted free agent. One of these players will likely help clog the middle on rundowns. And again, here's a player, a role that maybe will only be on the field 30% of the defensive snaps, yet it is an important thing. The Packers defense improved against the run last year under Hafley, and they hopefully can keep that up even without TJ Slaton's return. Question number 3, can the Packers get enough pass rush from their front 4? Rashawn Gary led the team with just 7.5 sacks, and originally Hafley wanted to get pressure just by primarily using his 4 defensive linemen. Didn't want to resort to a lot of blitzes. It never really came to fruition last year, and the blitz packages and stunts were a result. So does Gary step up and finally reach double-digit sacks for the first time in his career now that he's more comfortable in Hafley's defense here in year 2? Is a healthy Kenny Clark going to be able to help? He had 7.5 sacks a year ago, but in 2024 went all the way down to 1. He was playing hurt all season. Let's see if a healthy Kenny Clark can help. What about Lucas Van Ness and Brenton Cox, 2 younger players who still could take a step forward in their 3rd seasons in the NFL? And then you have Kingsley Enagbare, who's in a contract year. Maybe he has a big season in his 4th year in the NFL. Somebody's got to step up. Hafley could always go back to the blitzing Edgerrin Cooper, blitzing, some of the safeties or even the slot guys or cornerbacks, but he would prefer to get more pressure just from the front 4. We'll see if anyone is equal to the task this year. Coming in at our second question, who is the 3rd linebacker? Quay Walker, Edgerrin Cooper, they're both going to start, but the 3rd spot is up for grabs. The incumbent is veteran Isaiah McDuffie, a smart, heady player who defends the run well, but because of his lack of speed, struggles in coverage. You have third-round pick from a year ago, Tyron Hopper, but Hopper only played 18 snaps on defense in 17 games last year. Will he be more comfortable in the defense, know his assignments well enough to allow his athleticism to earn him a starting role? And then you have free agent Isaiah Simmons, who is also very athletic, very speedy. They have him concentrating on linebacker as opposed to playing a little safety and a little linebacker. Does Simmons end up winning this job? Look, the third linebacker may only be on the field for a third of the defensive snaps, but at the same time, it's an important role that could participate in blitzing the quarterback, in dropping back into coverage, and stuffing the run. So we'll see how that battle ends up working. And then the number one question the Packers defense must answer this season: how do you replace Jaire Alexander? Alexander was their top cover corner, and without him, the team does not have that shutdown corner who can take away one side of the field. Now, that's not to say they don't have talent, and let's face it, the Packers played 10 games plus a playoff game without Jaire Alexander in each of the last two seasons. So can Keyshawn Nixon, Nate Hobbs, and Carrington Valentine get the job done? You add Bullard fighting for time in the slot, and maybe, just maybe, this team can continue to play solidly at cornerback, even without the elite cover corner that Alexander is when he's healthy, but he wasn't healthy often enough. And so the Packers and Alexander have parted ways. We'll see how the Packers answer these questions when training camp gets underway late in July. Looking forward to that as this is the last time, the sort of quiet before the storm when training camp gets underway next month. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode here of the Daily Packers Post. And check out our website at thepackerspost.com for in-depth articles about the Green Bay Packers. We have new articles every day, Monday through Saturday. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe. And, of course, go Pack Go.